Ben Shapiro is having a revolt from his fans. His own fans are turning against him right now for one of his newest videos he put out, titled "The Evil Revolutionary Left Cheers Murder." Now, for those that don't know what he's referring to the United Healthcare CEO who was shot in the back and I think of like maybe the head too, in the street a few nights ago in Manhattan. And if you don't know, there genuinely could not be a more universally unlikable person to be gunned down in the street, and for the media and for law enforcement to assume that we would give a fuck about how we're supposed to be sad about that. Like, I'm not cheering for it, I'm not celebrating it necessarily, but I'm not crying over it. And most, on the left and right, are laughing about it. And even referring to the guy as a hero. Left and right, fan art of the guy and the things he carved into the bullet casings of his gun have been posted on Twitter and Blue Sky. It is a universal approval from politically of this guy's murder. It's actually kind of crazy. Never have I seen the left and right unified on something. And frankly, it's just one of those situations where the fact that the right has appealed to their entire base through pro-worker, pro-working class rhetoric, it means that that part of their beliefs doesn't go away just because they become conservative. They are conservative because they believe that is what is best for their lives and their bottom line and for their country, not because they have been drawn fully into evil. I think that's an important wake-up call. And if you're wondering how I know that, I think we should look at the comments of Ben Shapiro's new video. Because you see, Ben is not a conservative audience member. Ben Shapiro here is a demagogue whose true interests, like any other conservative pundit or politician at the end of the day, is to ensure the success and the positive perception of the wealthy class. And usually, Ben achieves this by attacking the left and talking about how crazy and wild they are. He tried to do it here. The evil revolutionary left cheers on murder. He thought he had a read on his fans. He thought that his fans would see him criticizing the left for cheering on the murder of this CEO, and his fans would be already programmed to then support the CEO and be against the death of the CEO because the left was in favor of it. Instead, though, let's just read the top comments in this video. And yes, these are from Ben Shapiro fans. Here's the top comment. It has 10,000 likes. "I just realized your entire business model requires that us normal folk hate each other." Guys, they're figuring it out. Guys, they're finally figuring it out. It's happening. He has figured out that it is the prerogative of these millionaire conservative demagogues to make you hate the left, because the left are the ones advocating for working class interests, and you cannot fight against and achieve the destruction of the working class interests without the support of the working class on your side fighting against their own best interests. And the way they've done this is by suave, suit-wearing demagogues with multi-million sub-YouTube channels like Ben Shapiro convincing you to hate your fellow American because they're crazy and woke and DEI, when in reality it's all a distraction from the fact that they need you to vote against the Democrats because that's the only way to get the working class to go against what is best for them. Guys, they're starting to wake up to it. I hope this is a wake-up call for anyone who unironically watches Ben Shapiro. His interests don't align with yours. Seeing rich people be so out of touch on this topic and be so clearly afraid of potential class consciousness truly fills me with hope. Surprise, out-of-touch rich guy defends other rich guys. Hate to break it to you, buddy, but it's not just the left who is sick of this. This isn't a left versus right issue. It's the working class versus the wealthy. And that's probably why you're trying to pretend it's something it's not. Take, I'm glad the comments section noticed. The CEO was actually a criminal. Funny how Ben calls us evil for this, but would never criticize his country for killing 40,000 people. He hates the fact that we are all uniting against the club he's in. This has to be the first time I'm seeing Ben get cooked by his own comments section. My god, conservatives, liberals, and lefties are hugging it out in the comments. My god, this is beautiful. It really is. You're wrong, Ben. I'm that quote-unquote evil leftist you always rage about. This has 4.6 thousand likes in a Ben Shapiro comment section, which means Ben Shapiro fans are liking comments from people that are starting their comment with, I'm a lefty, you're wrong, Ben. This is like the 6th comment down, the 6th top comment. You're wrong, Ben. I'm that evil leftist you always rage about. I have an uncle who is as conservative as they come, voted for Trump and everything. We have very little in common and avoid each other at holiday parties. I can tell you, we both wept when my dad slowly died of cancer while the insurance he paid for kept denying him life-saving care. We both saw the injustice in that. That same uncle is posting on Facebook right now how we couldn't give a fuck about no CEO. Insurance companies kill millions of people a year, and they don't discriminate between leftists and conservatives. I'm not buying this left versus right shit anymore, Ben. I want healthcare for my family. Benny, this is a nonpartisan issue. Please stop trying to constantly divide our country. Ben is pissed because bipartisan agreement is bad for his business model. IDK, why you're trying to keep pushing this as a left issue. It's clearly across the board. I'm sorry, Ben. 99.999% of the American people have denied your claim for sympathy for this parasite. Good one. Are you seriously so out of touch that you cannot understand the justifiable rage the people have towards the greed and corruption of the healthcare industry? So disappointed. If you think it's just the left, you're in for a surprise, Ben. Good time to remind everyone, right and left wing, that Ben Shapiro is a lot richer than all of us. I'm as far left as they come, and I'll never hate my brothers and sisters on the right. We all suffer at the hands of greedy millionaires and billionaires. This is such a good comment. This guy knows exactly what needs to be said right now. It looks like we're all uniting against the real enemy, and I love it. Dude, I gotta say, we've been in some dark times lately. Some genuinely rough, dark times these last few weeks. What a great hope pill to receive. You guys want to watch Ben simp for this billionaire? Let's watch at least the opening of the video that got even Ben's own fans shit-talking him. God, this is great.
Updates in the search for the murderer of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. He was, of course, on Wednesday, and there are some pretty deep ramifications for American society and all this. We'll get to that in a moment. First time is running out. Daily Wire Plus is 50% off.
Oh my God, I forgot. They're such grifters, dude.
The United Health executive, Brian Thompson, was shot to death on the streets of New York. Authorities are still searching for the suspect at this point, according to the Wall Street Journal. Police are combing New York City for the suspect who used a Sharpie to write "deny, defend, and depose" on cartridges that are believed to have come out of his gun when it jammed, according to law enforcement officials. Some of those words are commonly associated with tactics insurers use.
Wait, I was right. Guys, most of you were here. You remember what I said. I think that it's going to be a 9mm pistol with a 3D printed suppressor that jammed. He had to chamber another round. Or it was a weird gun that requires you to manually chamber the next round, which I said was unlikely because I don't know like why he would have that or where he would get that. Holy crap. I was right. That's cool. I haven't followed the story super closely since my segment about it, so just need to find out that more info has come out. And I saw what I saw. I was correct.
Used to avoid paying claims. Investigators believe that the suspect may be staying or may have stayed at a hostel on Manhattan's Upper West Side. The NYPD has been published for a reward of up to respond. New York Times. She's totally insane. She was insane on COVID. She was psychotic. Former reporter for the Washington Post. Americans respond. So Taylor Lorenz, we talked about her yesterday. She is a psychotic former reporter for the Washington Post and the New York Times. She's totally insane.
Remember, guys, she is super insane. You should never listen to anything she says. For those that don't know, Taylor Lorenz is like an on-the-ground type. Like, she's sat down and debated libs of TikTok, destroyed her in an in-person debate. It is the prerogative of these right-wing YouTubers and figures to start trying to delegitimize the seriousness of a figure once they've proven that they are fully capable of one-on-one or one-on-multiple opponents dismantling their rhetoric. It's why none of these people will debate Destiny anymore. Destiny's well and truly proved himself to be capable of handling these people. They won't really debate him anymore. Vosh, as much as I am not cool with him anymore, Vosh is a great debater. And a lot of these people will not debate him anymore because what they have to do is keep these people at an arm's length and just try to tell their audiences to never give them the time of day.
She was insane on COVID. She was insane when it came to the supposed predations of people on the right who ought to, she said, be shut out of media, and particularly...
Mind you, Taylor Lorenz exists under far more accountability for false reporting or telling lies than Ben Shapiro does. If you're a Ben Shapiro fan who's maybe had your faith in this guy shaken a bit by this video, because it's like, bro, you clearly don't have the same interests as I do as someone who does not make millions of dollars a year. Just to let you know, the mainstream media isn't perfect. I've got problems with it. But I need you to know, if you don't already, there are several magnitudes more accountability for journalists within, like, the mainstream media. So we're talking, like, your CNNs, your MSNBCs. Far more accountability for them. Even Fox News. Far more accountability for their reporters than any of these YouTube internet figures. I have far less accountability than those people. That is why when you watch someone like me or Ben Shapiro or anyone who's an internet figure, you need to think critically. You cannot just go into it with a fully open mind. You need your mind to be closed a little bit, you know? Like hear a point, and even if it sounds right to you, even if it sounds like it fits into your worldview, think about how it could be wrong. Like, beat up that idea a little bit. Throw some punches at it on its way into your mind and see if it holds up to a little bit of logical scrutiny before you commit it to be, like, part of the pool of knowledge you consider the truth. You need to be careful with figures like this. Do you think the shooter was using subsonic rounds? I don't know. I doubt it, though, considering, I mean, it jammed. The gun jammed, so maybe... low velocity, like, rounds would cause that. There's a higher I know that's a thing where the slower the projectile shoots from the gun, the higher likelihood of there being a jam, because there's less a little bit less recoil to help cycle the old casing out and help a new round get into the chamber, get cycled into the chamber from the magazine. So that could have been it. That he could have been using subsonic rounds, but I don't know. Honestly, the police would probably have the best idea, because they would be able to look at the casings and probably determine that. They probably have some way of figuring it out. Maybe there's markings on right around the striker point on the back of the round that tells you. I have no idea. Actually, I can check. I got a 9mm round right here. Let's see. Does this tell you what kind it is? 9mm Luger. Norma? Or no, does that say... Yeah, it says Normo, or Norma. I think that's an A. Yeah, Norma. Norma 9mm Luger is what it says. Don't show bullets. I think you're allowed to hold a bullet on stream. I don't think that's against the rules. I'm just checking. Just checking to see what it says in the back of those things.
Social media. Well, now she is full-scale rallying in favor of the murderer. So she tweeted yesterday on Blue Sky, which is a weird left-wing echo chamber form of Twitter. There was a...
Guys, you don't get to say this anymore after what Elon has turned Twitter into, dude. Like, once again, Elon dropped billions on the biggest social media platform in the world, shadow bans everyone who doesn't pay for, to support his politics, because obviously you're not going to pay Elon Musk if you don't, if you're not right-wing, more likely than not. So if you don't support his politics, you're unlikely to get Twitter blue, unless you're going to be not blacklisted, but shadow banned, basically. It's literally bots and right-wing hate posts left and right. There is no moderation for you if you're on the right, but you might get fully muted if you say the word cisgender in one of your tweets. Twitter is the right-wing echo chamber. They're just molding, because remember, conservatives can't just own the public square. It's not enough for these people to own the public square, especially not for people like Ben Shapiro, who need to continue making money off of the triggered libs. If the libs just fuck off to some corner somewhere, presumably that should be fine to people like this. No. They have to chase them down. They have to find them. They have to talk about what they're saying on this echo chamber platform. They have to chase people to Blue Sky. They have to make their own Blue Sky accounts. Hell, we had a Nazi in chat earlier making multiple accounts in my website chat, just to spam and accuse me of being a pedophile. Probably because they're a fan of Nuxtaku, who I was criticizing. And so that's just what these people do. Like 90% of conservative worldview is hating the left. And when you're taught to hate the left above all else, above all other principle and ideology, what better thing to do than to go out and to fuck with the libs, right?
A post put out by Blue Cross Blue Shield all about whether it was going to pay for anesthesia under its healthcare coverage. And she then tweeted out, quote, "And people wonder why we want these executives dead." So openly cheering the death of Brian Thompson. That wasn't her only post. Somebody put out a statement saying, quote, "Legislation idea, healthcare executives and their families must be on the cheapest plan their company offers, and they aren't allowed to seek other care." And she wrote in all capital letters, "Endorse." Then she put out a post.
That's a good joke because, you know, it's pre-existing condition to be the CEO of a healthcare company.
That showed a graphic of a happy star, like a star with a happy face and balloons, and the caption "CEO down." And she wrote, "Woke up to see this spammed in my group chats." And she said, "I am not alone," that other people were doing the same thing. Then she reposted a post from left-wing agitator Ken Klippenstein saying, "Today we remember the legacy of United Healthcare CEO."
I love how his own fans called him out for pretending like it's just the left saying this, by the way. Like, I love that. His fans were like, "Ben, what do you mean? Everybody hates this guy. What are you talking about? The left." This opens the eye. What I need you to understand is this is the kind of thing that fundamentally shakes the trust that the fans of this guy have in him. Now they recognize that this guy is not just a producer of unfalsifiable facts, logic, and truth. This guy has interests. They don't necessarily align with the viewer, and he can be wrong. And or some people might interpret it as what it is, not just him being wrong, but he can lie. This is a big deal. A lot of people on the right are going to have a wake-up call from this. This is a big moment. I think looking back, we're going to point to this moment as a big marker point for where the culture of the internet and the politics of the internet are headed. I think in the next 4 years, we might genuinely see a resurgence of left-wing politics and culture online that makes 2018, 2019, and 2020 look like nothing.
CEO Brian Thompson. And what exactly was that legacy? The claim denial rates by insurance companies. And of course, it's not just Taylor Lorenz. Socialist Nathan Robinson, a complete useless lead.
Wait, what did he say that they had to silence out there? He said something, and they had to cut it out for monetization. What did he call him?
On the ass of society. Posted himself, quote, "Live your life in such a way that people will be sad when you die." That was above a screen cap of a New York Times headline that said, "Torrent of hate for health insurance industry follows CEO's killing." That piece from...
You think he called him a pussy? I doubt it. Ben Shapiro's mind rarely moves to the thought of vagina, I like to think.
From the New York Times is all about people who apparently were perfectly fine with the murder of Brian Thompson on the streets of New York City. According to the New York Times, none of this stopped social media commentators from leaping to conclusions. And
I love how Ben says these things, like with his annotation, as if he's got them, you know? He's got these crazy lefties. Wait till his fans find out what these crazy lefties are saying. Meanwhile, his fans are like, "I never thought I'd say this, but the libtards are right." Fuck you, Ben. Oh, this is so great.
And showing a blatant lack of sympathy over the death of a man who was a husband and father of 2 children. Thoughts and deductibles to the family, read one comment underneath a video of the shooting posted online by CNN. "Unfortunately, my condolences are out of network." A TikTok user wrote, quote, "I'm an ER nurse, and the things I've seen dying..."
Literally just getting offended at jokes. Yo, fix your mic? Monotypical, is my mic fucked up? Chat, is my mic bad? Hold on. Let me check my stream. Let me check my stream. Let me check my stream. No, it sounds all right. Hold on, I can check. Yeah, no. Everything seems okay. It's jittering every once in a while. Weird. Sound like a robot for like 20 seconds. Okay.
Patients get denied for it by insurance. It makes me physically sick. I just can't feel sympathy for him because of all those patients and their families.
Oh, it's Ben being really loud. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize Ben was so loud. Guys, the way that, like, audio works on my PC is so fucked. Please let me know if videos are way too loud. Thank you for letting me know, but I would have liked to have known about 19 minutes ago.
And these sorts of messages were incredibly common across the internet. We discussed yesterday a Columbia professor who wrote something very similar Unfortunately, bubbling under the surface of all this is something very serious, really serious. What is that serious thing? The revolutionary left is creeping into the mainstream. Yesterday we talked about liberals versus the left. Liberals are people who disagree with me on public policy, but aren't in favor of, the murder of their opponents. The left is a different thing. The shooting of Thompson has unleashed a wave of evil from members of the left. Thompson was not a criminal. He wasn't even an advocate of death, the way, for example, abortion or euthanasia advocates are. And by the way, murder...
He tries so hard with this video, dude. He tries so hard.
An abortionist or an advocate of euthanasia would be unjustifiable morally.
What a massive L it is to, like, tell his fans that it's the left that are in favor of these, like, overtly pro-worker, pro-working class things. Like, Ben, like, solely with this video might have done some severe damage to his own side by so poorly reading the room that is his audience.
In a democratic system. Brian Thompson's great sin, according to these people, is that he was the head of a company that exists within a mixed private-public healthcare framework, and that he did his job, because that's how health insurance
That is also the argument of your own fans, Ben. You are attacking your own fans right now.
Actually works. Some things are covered, and some things are not. And you may not like the application of the coverage, and it may be bad. That is not an excuse for murder. But for the left, if you hate the system, you are morally justified in murdering anyone who acts within the system. That means that if, like one Bernie Sanders follower did, you believe...
Obviously, no, most people on the left don't believe this, but most people, especially on the left, are not going to cry a single tear over a health insurance company CEO getting capped, okay? Because everybody knows why the dude capped that guy. Everyone knows he didn't get shot in the street because he was just such a nice guy and everyone liked him so much. It was a targeted assassination, and, like, no one's saying that it was, like, it meant that he deserved to die, but also no one is saying, like, oh man, what a great dude. He was so young. He had so much good left to do in life. Like what do you expect, bro? Like, I get you got to protect your fellow millionaires and billionaires, but you should have been able to read the room on this one, Ben. I guess this is what happens. If you focus too much on the culture war stuff, it's easy to forget that you haven't... You've suggested that the left doesn't actually fight for the working class, but you've done that when you argue that, no matter how effective it is at getting people on board with the right, eventually, when you let slip that the end game is to support the interests of the ruling class, when you start overtly spreading that rhetoric like here, the game slips. You have them on the culture war stuff, on the being against the left. But when you let the mask slip like this, you lose everything you worked for. Man. What an amazing situation. What a great hope. What a great little, like, dose of hopium in such hard times. I'm curious. If you enjoyed this video, obviously leave a like if you found it educational, enjoyable, or entertaining, but comment down below as well. Likes and comments help the channel a ton, but I want to know, down below in the comment section, do you think that Ben has single-handedly with that video done noticeable damage to the right? I'm curious if you guys think this is going to have, like, genuine long-term effects, or if you think it's going to snowball into something bigger down the road. I think it really might. So comment if you think it will, or if it won't. Subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already to turn on all notifications so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video, because if you don't, they won't. Follow my social medias, linked down below in the description if you want to see more from me on other platforms, especially my Blue Sky. I've got a Blue Sky account. And join my fan Discord if you haven't already. It is the home and hub of my fan base and community, and in fact, once a week I host gaming events, call-in streams, and watch parties there, or watch parties there, I should say. And I announce all my new uploads and streams, so if you want to be a part of the main core of things, make sure you hop in there. And of course, finally, if you want to support me directly, financially, help me keep the lights on, a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or perhaps, maybe, buy some merch through the Streamlabs link down below in the description. Regardless, though, of how you support my content, I really do appreciate it, and as always, I hope that you have a good one.